welcome back to Faraja Swift Chat with me, Jeffrey Sambasa, and life coach Abby. Yes, with us, tunaongelelea tu hizi vitu za kawaida actually, because we want to see a better place in this society. Now, when we went for a break, we were tackling the causes of these traumas that we experience. So, I'll bring you on board uendele na hizo causes before we move to any other part of that topic.
Yeah, I just add to loss and grief.
Okay.
Someone loses a person they love. It could be a spouse, a parent, someone significant in their lives, and it hits them hard. So that's something that if you don't heal from, it keeps affecting you because it's a traumatic event for you. It could also be observing violence. Like, have you seen these parents who fight in front of their children? Or a parent who, a child who witnessed the parents being killed? Or thieves came to your house, like one, Jeffrey's, that is so bad that I had. Thieves came into a house, stole, robbed the house, and instead of just leaving, they poked the ears of a boy. So wakamtoboa the eardrums.
So bad.
Wakamuacha akiwa
So bad.
Now imagine that boy. So, such things. So loss and grief is a heavy one. I've seen it, especially now. I don't know what's happening. There have been so much death. So it's affecting people. And also that.
Hi, that is so bad.
Yeah.
Are people really trained to do this bad or evil things? Do they even plan?
I think, like we said in one of the shows, some people seem to be losing humanity and just doing things that are out of this world.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so bad.
So it was sad because
Yeah.
now the boy from hearing overnight became deaf.
Yeah, that
So
is so bad.
he could hear with aids on because it's not an internal problem. It's just a deformity caused. But really, why would
that's
you do that?
traumatizing.
Why would
Yeah,
you
that's
do
traumatizing.
That? Yeah.
To that boy, that was too much traumatizing. And now we want to talk about those effects. The effects these traumatic events leave to us, Abby. Like that boy, that was so much.
Yeah.
That was so much. Imagine ni kitu ilisha happen na na feel niko
Yeah,
nimekaza
even
mishipa
me,
already.
when I was being told, I could feel it.
Yeah, that is so bad.
I could feel it.
So can we discuss these effects
Yeah.
that they leave to us? These events zinatuachia effects kubwa sana. Kindly guide us through the effects.
So I will put them in 4 categories of how they affect us. The first category is how they affect our minds. Now, like this boy could develop a mindset or a belief that maybe men are bad. If men are the ones who did that,
it?
A girl can say, if maybe the father did something, men are bad. A boy can say, women are bad. So it affects our belief system, affects how we see ourselves, how we see people, how we see things.
Yeah.
So that's an effect to the mind, and it can totally change our mindset. And then there is relationships, and I've seen this a lot in my practice as a coach, where somebody goes through something in a relationship, and it really affects them so much that they cannot allow themselves to be who they are, to be themselves in relationships. For example, I was with some men the other day, and they were telling me about their wives who are not as sexually outgoing as they want. Or sometimes you marry someone who holds back. The question is why? So maybe it's something that has gone on in their lives. For example, a girl who has gone through rape may have difficulty opening up sexually to a man. So that can affect relationships. The difficulty in trusting, difficulty in loving again. seeing as if everyone is a threat. So that can affect our relationships. It can affect our bodies. Trauma is stored in our bodies. When something happens, there's a feeling you have. It could be in your head, in your chest, tightness in your chest. It could be in your stomach. Have you experienced that? Maybe something happened, unasikia ile watu wanasema nilisikia
imenikata.
Imenikata. You know, and the body also stores the memory because the body remembers what you went through. So it stores that memory, and it just makes your body stiff and feeling like I cannot, you know, in that defense mode, like we say, your body is ever feeling like I need to defend myself, I need to fight. There is danger, something bad is going to happen. So that, and also affecting how we relate with our environment. Things like nightmares. People have nightmares when they sleep. Like now, the one we talked about, war. You're sleeping, you have nightmares, you can't sleep well, sleeplessness, diseases that can come with it. There was this case I read in a book that of a boy who would always have sugar going up, the sugars, when he had anything burst. Kumbe there was a shootout in school. And so how it affected him was it affected the sugars. So that affected him. So even some sicknesses can be, because now in this book they were explaining that the doctors could not understand why anapewa the highest dose possible to bring the sugar down, and it's not going down. And so they started checking what can be the cause. And so they realized anytime kitu inafanya nje, a motorbike, it affects this boy, and he goes back. It's like the trauma response in him is activated.
Na hakuwa ameisema wakajua.
Yeah, he doesn't know. You know, it's a boy, a school-going boy. So he doesn't know. So luckily, in that hospital, they were... It was a trauma-informed facility. So they had a specialist for that. So when the specialist, you know, when somebody has gone through trauma, triggers, small triggers, like mtu alimkosea alikuwa na ndevu kubwa nyeupe, akiona anaamuka. You know, it could be mtu alikuwa with a bald head, akiona inaamusha hiyo emotion. Hata yeye anashangaa, anasema sijielewi kwa nini huyu mtu akipita hapa huwa anasikia hivi. But akichunguza, arudi nyuma, atapata there is something. There is a connection with something that happened. So those are the effects and that come among others.
Talk to us about someone who wanna feel suicidal.
Yeah, suicide, somebody who feels like
and
they want...
others go to an extent to attempt.
Like now, a story was told just the other day, maybe you've heard about it, of this boy who went through bullying in school, came and told the parents, I don't want to go back to that school. And the parents said, no, you need to go back, you know, we have to plan ourselves, you know, hata uende upate result za hiyo term ndio tukutafutie nazo shule
nyingine.
School was supposed to be on Monday. On Sunday, he hanged himself.
Oh.
So, you see now, remember I have said that it's that thing that according to you, you feel like it's too much, I can't handle this. And so it can cause somebody to feel like, no, this is too much for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also, kuna watu wanajitenga tu. Unapitia kitu, then unajiondoa katikati ya watu. Unataka ukae peke. Yani you alienate yourself from people. Unajicreatea your own, unaona ni kama umejicreatea your own safe space. Talk to us about that.
This is isolation, where you feel like you're not safe.
Yeah.
Remember, trauma makes you feel like you're not safe. So you isolate yourself, you put yourself away from people, and you just want to be alone. So like, say a person has been sexually abused, and this person just withdraws, wants to be alone, doesn't want to stay with other people, just wants to be alone. They feel like that's where I am safe. I don't want to stay with people. So that's also an effect where you're feeling like, remember we said it takes away the ability to trust. So you're feeling like, how can I trust these people?
Yeah.
And sometimes you're feeling like the people will not understand you. So you withdraw from that environment.
Now, for the sake of our viewer, I want us to spell out the signs of people with trauma, ili all of us tujue kuchungana na to be aware that I see this might be the problem. So I want to let our life coach spell out the signs we should look out.
Yeah.
Kuanzia kwa ule mtoto mdogo as they come up, na pia sisi watu wakubwa, however big we are, like nikiona hii sign, nijue huyu mtu ana trauma fulani inamsumbua.
Yeah.
Kindly walk us through the journey of signs.
You mentioned one, that isolation. Mtu ana kaa peke
Jitenga.
yake, hataki kukaa na watu.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, mtoto amenyamaza na hakuwa hivyo. Amenyamaza, ameenda kwa kona yake. A child who was bubbly, ameenda kando sasa. That's a sign something is wrong. Maybe it's bullying. I remember a mother who was very sad to realize after almost 2 terms that the son was going through bullying. But yeye anamwambia tu, wewe nini mbaya na wewe, unataka kukaa peke yako, mbona? Kumbe mtoto anapitia shule. So that isolation, aggression, like another one now is aggression. Small things, mtu anakuwa triggered, hasira, anakuwa na very adverse emotional reaction. You wonder, this was just a small thing.
Yeah.
Why are you reacting like that? But you know, it's that stored memory in the brain, inaruka huko. You're here, but yeye ameruka 5 years ago or 2 months ago where something traumatic happened. We've talked of nightmares. You're sleeping at night, you just have nightmares because your brain is flashing back. It's all stored in your mind. So your brain is having those flashbacks. There's also flashbacks, you just stay like this. And you know, the brain sometimes actually doesn't know the difference between kitambo na sai. Your brain feels like it's happening now.
Yeah.
And so it, you feel, you see this person, ni kitu ya kitambo, lakini this person feels like they are going through that pain now. And they react as if it's happening now, and you will even be surprised. I mean, your parent died 2 years ago. Why are you behaving as if it has just happened now?
Right now.
Then there is that numbing, where you are in a relationship and your spouse is no longer the same. Sometimes Jeffries unaguza mtu anastuka, unashindwa ni nini.
Na mko tu hapo wawili.
What is going on? Kumbe yeye akikuangalia anakumbuka that abuser in childhood. That person who did something. Something like infidelity. You know, you can, I've seen this especially in women, where a man has dishonored the vows, and so the lady begins to think of it in terms of self-worth. Anaanza kuona, kwa hivyo mimi sifai, alienda kutafuta nini kwa huyo. Then in case anamjua, anaanza kufikiria, oh, so ni Jeffries, anakaa hivi. Kwa hivyo anipendi kwa sababu nakaa hivi. I have heard of women who go through that and they lose the courage of even being without clothes in front of their spouses. They lose that confidence completely. So it has those kinds of effects, the things that to us appear normal, but to this person who has gone through a traumatic event, you know, like a child who has experienced parents fighting all the time, and now they are afraid. They fear marriage. They fear that if I go there, something like this will happen. Or you just say something, Naum, to the reaction is so heavy, so intense, until you wonder what exactly is going on in you. Sometimes it's physical signs, pains in the body. It could be even what we said about sugars going up, hypertension, stomach pains, chest tightness, and all that. So those could be signs that it's pointing you back to something that is still stored in you, that you may need to look into and heal from. Yeah.
For this one, I'll be intentional with it. Suppose mtu alipitia hiyo traumatic event mpaka aka lose self-esteem. Is there a day you will come to gain your own worth again? Is it possible when we walk now this journey?
Yeah, because now, you know, when you go through trauma, it kind of, let me start here. Our brains are here to protect us. Your brain, your brain acts like a mother, a protective mother who is there to protect you. So when something happens, your brain kind of changes how it sees things. And so at that point, your brain goes through a certain form of change. There are details now that we can't cover. So the same way it changes, the brain is also plastic. It can also change again. Remember when we talked about mindset, we said it's like a muscle. You can rewire it again. So you go through things like therapy, things like coaching, the breath work we talked about, and different exercises you can be given to rediscover yourself again, to see that, no, it didn't, that was just an event. It was not something that was meant to destroy me. It was just an event. And so I cannot tag my whole life, my self-worth and everything on that one event. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not a walk in the park, but it's something that when we go back to, again, another keyword, intentional, when you're intentional about it, you can heal and go back to your better version, and sometimes even realize that some traumas were good for you. They maybe have helped you to get to a better version of you.
Now, nataka tuangalie the common mistakes we do. Because hawa watu wako na hizi trauma wako tu pamoja na sisi. Either in the family, at work, ama shule. Right? So nataka tuangalie the common mistakes huwa tunafanya, tunawakosea hawa watu. Kwa sababu hautamchukulia na ile uzito inafaa. They are there, they have a problem, lakini wewe unaichukulia kama mzaha tu. Anajaribu kukuambia na ni kama umsikii. They are trying to address something, wewe uko tu. So can you kindly highlight the kind of mistakes we do na tunajipata instead ya kusaidia tunaharibu?
Let me start here. The way a human being is wired, we want peace.
Always.
We want peace.
Always.
For example, if you lose your loved one, I will encourage you to heal. But most of the time, it's not for your sake. It's for my sake. Because I'm tired of seeing you like that all the time.
And down.
Utanililia mpaka lini, pona. Oh, I'm not telling you that, and maybe I'm not even aware, but somewhere we are tired. For example, when floods happen, everybody goes there with food, with blankets, and they say tutasimama na nyinyi. How long does it last?
After your blanket utamuona?
Yes, because we are expecting you to heal. We can't continue journeying with you forever.
Yes.
So that is the nature of a human being. Because we are all living our own lives, our own stories. Hakuna siku Jeffries unaamka ukifikiria tu Abi anaendelea aje. It's not practical.
Hata nasahau.
Yeah, you tend to
as
forget.
Much as I want, nitasahau
because
bado
you're
one day.
also going through your own pressures in life. And so somebody who is going through trauma could end up feeling neglected. So we make mistakes because, one, we want them to heal very fast, and we kind of are surprised. Why are they not healing? Yet it's not that practical for them to heal. Maybe it's something like the complex trauma.
Yes.
It has gone on for years, the chronic trauma. How do you expect me to just heal all of a sudden? So that expectation that we have as human beings can be unrealistic, and it can end up hurting them because then they feel people don't understand me. Most of our institutions are not trauma-informed, like knowing if you wanna behave in trauma, like a child in school. Oprah Winfrey has written a book together with a psychiatrist, and they are talking about trauma, and it's titled "What Happened to You?" Because most of the time we ask, "What's wrong with you?" But the question is not what's wrong with you. The question is what happened to you that changed you to be the person you are today. So in this book, it gives an example of a young man, a boy, who went through a lot of abuse with the father, terrible abuse. So he goes to school and anafukuzwa shule zote.
Okay.
Hasettle kwa shule yote. Afit. So anaenda shule, anatolewa, anapelekwa hizo foster care, anatolewa. So they brought in a specialist.
Nyumbani?
No, in school.
Okay.
So going through it, kumbe, there is a certain teacher who uses a cologne, the same type the father uses. So the moment mwalimu anamkaribia hivi,
Ana-trigger baba.
So the teacher was trying to be very kind, lakini mtoto hapana. Because kwake haoni mwalimu, anaona baba yake. Immediately all the flashbacks of the pain the father has taken him through comes back flooding in his mind, and he just has to defend himself. Now the aggression comes in and he fights it. Now luckily for him, this psychiatrist came in and was able to take him through the process, and now he started healing. And so that not being trauma-informed, because most of the time we talk about trauma, but we don't even go deeper to know what is this trauma. Do we even understand it?
Yeah.
And then, I have said people expecting you to heal very fast, not being trauma-informed, sometimes punishing people, like a child. You go home, your child has made a mistake, we unaongeza kiboko, na labda he is going through trauma. So most of the mistake is because we are not aware. We don't know. And so we add a wound to another. So the solution is for us now to create that awareness so that people begin to know, ukiona mtu ana behave hivi, let me not blame them. The question to ask yourself is not what is wrong with you. It is what exactly happened to you, what made you be who you are today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to thank our coach because mimi naelewa. Yani nina learn, and I hope our viewer is learning. Maybe before we tackle any other thing, kindly I want you to give them your social handles. Like mtu akitaka kuendelea huu mwendo na wewe atakupata wapi, kwa nambari gani, so that you can expound, because hapa tunaweza kuwa na limited time, but kuna mahali anaweza kukupata na umwendeleshe hii safari, like aelewe this is what is happening to me.
Yeah, to our viewers, let me say that healing is possible, and you can actually access the healing. So to get me, my social media handles on TikTok, Wellness with Abby, on Facebook, Blessed Abby, or Abby's Holistic Wellness Hub, on YouTube, Coach Blessed Abby, and my phone number 0781 248 284. And we'll walk that journey with you, or link you to someone who can walk the journey with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that is the most good one,
Yeah.
because the agenda is to see everyone in a safe space.
Yes.
That is the agenda.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate our viewer, because I know they are following and they'll want to practice this.
Yes.
Haimaanishi ujiogope ama ujifungie because una trauma. There is room for a proper process mpaka upate healing, right? So however, whatever happened, however it happened, it was not your mistake.
Yeah, true.
At some point it was not your mistake, and even if it was your mistake, sidhani inafaa ikuweke kwa hiyo kakuni, kwamba sitaiongelelea na sitaiitoa ama sitaijisamehea. Some traumas we have, maybe the mistake was ours or it was not ours. There is a journey we can follow to pate he, and you've been given the number, and also there is a away from her, you've said away from you, there are other people you can refer.
True.
So haijalishi mtazamaji wetu ulipitia nini, makosa haikuwa yako, na kama ilikuwa yako bado there is room.
But we also tell them that now the healing is totally your responsibility.
Yes, and it's also for your own good.
Yes.
And I want to
so we can't keep blaming the person who hurt us or the events that happened. Now we have to say, I'm taking charge of my life.
Yes.
I need to move on.
Yes, because I also wanted us, we talk about that blame game on the side of the victim now. Najua kunaweza kuwa na hiyo. Yes, watu wanakuelekeza mahali unafaa upone, lakini we unasema mbona?
The question is always, why me? Why me? Why me? But we need to get to say, yeah, it happened to me. And Jeffries, let me say this in closing. One day, if you go through the healing journey, you get to a point and realize whatever happened to me was not just against me, it was actually for me. You reach a point and you actually are grateful that it happened, however terrible it is.
Wow.
Because everything that happens in our lives happens for a reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to take this opportunity to thank you, our life coach, because you're making us learn every day, and that is a big up. Continue what you're doing. Mi nitakupea maua yako leo. You're doing a good job. And for me, I appreciate always for your presence on these episodes. I won't take it for granted. I know there is someone who is following and learning, because we receive the responses, nata unaniambianga. So we do it for ourselves and we do it for another person. That is the goal. I want to thank you, our viewer, at this juncture. We want to wrap up this episode. Up to next time, we want to say it is bye-bye.
Bye.